In many of my videos, I speak about trying not to manifest from the perspective of the egoic I, but rather focusing on the larger aspect of the I am. And please don't misunderstand me. I'm not suggesting that you can't imagine things from the restricted perspective of man, the ego. I try to avoid using that word, but if you feel more comfortable referring to it in that manner, I won't stop you. I'm just pointing out that if you imagine things from the point of view of being the one, of being, the inner man, the creator, or who men call God, as Neville would put it, what I'm saying is that you do that, a few things become clear. And as for myself, I've never been a big fan of the word God, but it's one that's used a lot and is somewhat easier to comprehend. However, the point that I was attempting to make was that if you consider yourself to be the inner man, the creator, or God, it is much simpler for you to embrace everything that is contained inside yourself. This is the message that I was trying to convey. The next question that needs to be asked is, who is desiring? Who is desiring? And we need to see once more that it is the inner man that is desiring, that the desire is not located outside of us, but rather within ourselves, and that here is where it needs to be fulfilled by us. I've had similar experiences in which I've tried to pursue things in life, but I never felt the way I wanted to feel as a result of my efforts. As a result, I'm confident that this is the case. I was never able to be fulfilled in the manner in which I wished, yet it wasn't until I attempted to provide it to myself within my imagination that I actually evolved into a being who was more fulfilled. When I finally realized that all I needed was already inside of me, I was finally able to start living a life of abundance and imagination. Therefore, we alter, and by we, I mean the inner man, the inner self. We modify our inner reality, we reshape it, and we change it so that it is more in line with how we would like it to be. We are able to get all we want out of it, and as a result, we stop caring about the outside world and instead focus on developing the ability to say yes to everything that lies within us. That as soon as I envision something, I immediately accept it as true. There's this where I accept it either as a moment in the present or as a simple yes. Or there's just this, I accept it as a yes. You should engage in a practice of meditation in which you simply utter one word to yourself, such as yes, and then you visualize everything it is that you want, and then you simply say yes as if it were a real yes to it. And other than that, don't stress about anything else. Don't have a debate with your own mind. It's best not to question anything. If you are in fact accepting it, then go ahead and accept it. Oftentimes, it is all of these questions that prevent progress from being made. You certainly are already capable of doing it, but you should realize that acceptance is not a feeling, rather, it is the act of completely submitting to whatever the situation is that you are dealing with. It is, in essence, the same as saying, "This is my no, I accept it," which is something that causes emotional responses. Therefore, when you have the sensation that you've accepted the fact that you are this or that you have this, your mind will automatically begin to think from that viewpoint, and after that, you will be provided with an emotion. You then begin to think from this newly acknowledged vantage point in your internal reality, and you simply proceed along with it. There is no need for you to worry about it. Learn to just start accepting things. Accept that your wish has been granted. As Neville would say, acceptance is the first step to happiness. Now, the word that is used in religious circles is different, but in general, a great number of mystics have used, and they define the being called God. If you want to call it that, as of this Creator's love, and it is all accepting. According to the Bible, God is ever present in him. Therefore, there is never a time when he says no, rather, he only ever says yes. Now, in this context, I'd like to mention that I made this video about thinking or affirming in the positive sense, as in thinking from the perspective of I am instead of I am not. So if you want happiness or money, don't think in terms of getting rid of poverty or I want this disaster to end or something like that. Rather, you should affirm or think in the positive sense. So if you want happiness, saying that I am happy, or if you want money, imagine yourself being in that state instead of trying to get rid of the opposite. So therefore, it is the case that it accepts things regardless of what they are. Consciousness does so regardless of what it is and accepts it. Now, is it possible for us to imitate that? Is it possible for us to begin accepting the things that are within ourselves, no matter what they are or what it is? Is it possible for us to acquire the skill of accepting it without condition and without passing judgment? The things that we yearn for, and what you'll find is, you'll find fulfillment in yourself from acceptance, but in a way that is distinct from striving to achieve things in the world, are the things that we yearn for. We need to forget about the rest of the world because it is not relevant to the discussion at all. The issue at hand is that the war that we need to fight and win is actually taking place within ourselves.